Fantilli shines in his debut, Krieder has a 3-point game, a Hall of Famer back in Ottawa, and Gustavsson starts the season off right. We'll break all this down for you coming up on this episode of Hat Trick HQ. But before we get into that, we just want to say, if you're one of the thousands of people watching that aren't subscribed, go down, hit that subscribe button, become a part of the Hat Trick HQ community, because me and Mark will be here all season long, keeping you up to date on what's happening around the league. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today, and that is Kreider's 3-point night. And as we take a look here last night, Krieder was the first star in that game against Buffalo. He had it was a 5-1 win for New York, where he had 2 goals, 1 assist, and by far, Mark, this guy looked like he was the best Ranger on the ice last night, as he does most nights. That New York Rangers roster is juiced this year, and seeing Lafreniere score in the first game of the season just was a great way to start it.
Yeah, you've seen them have a great performance. The team looks well. Everything's gelling. Hopefully these young guys take a step up. We've seen Krieder play incredible. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of Krieder. I think his game's really important for the Rangers, though. So overall, seeing him get a hot start's incredible. The Rangers team looks deadly. And I think there's a chance to make some noise in the Eastern.
Yeah, he's one of the best, if not the best, power forwards in the entire league, in my opinion. I think he had a great start to his campaign last night, and I think if he can keep this going, ride this momentum, ride this wave, I think he'll have a really successful season. I just really like these players who can go out there, lay the body, and they can also score. But as a Montreal fan, I'm not a big fan of Chris Kreider, but we do have to report on it nonetheless. But Rangers fans, be excited. The Rangers won their first game this season, and they looked really dominant. It's going to be a great season for the New York Rangers, and we're going to keep you up to date on everything that happens. But we're going to get into our second topic here, and that is all aboard the Gus bus. And obviously, Minnesota Wild fans know what we're talking about here, as Filip Gustavsson had a 41-save shutout against the Florida Panthers last night. Mark, I just think this is a great way for a goaltender to start his season, obviously against a great team like the Florida Panthers. I know you're excited because they're in competition with the Leafs for the first in the Atlantic.
Yeah, the big thing with Gustin, and you've seen him come over to Minnesota last year, he looked outstanding. I think a performance like this just has cemented him as the number one option over there. I know they do have Fleury. I know the team is kind of going through a retool, but still being competitive. But I think Gustin's a guy that can run as the number one netminder. I think he looked incredible. I think he's the type of guy that can really just get you over the hump, get you into the playoffs, help you overachieve in some games. And he's a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he could steal you series as well. He's a young goalie. I think they have a bright future with him over in the Wild. And honestly, I'm just excited to see a full season of him and see what he can do with the number one job.
Yeah, he looked amazing last night, like you said. And a big thing about goaltending is the mental aspect of it. And when you start your season with a shutout, I think that just he's floating on air right now. I think it's going to hype him up even more to get back out there, get in the crease for Minnesota. And I think Minnesota's going to have a decent year this year. I expect them to make the playoffs. And I'm going to be tuning into a lot of Minnesota games this year because their team is really fun. Really enjoy Matt Boldy, just going to put it out there. But we're going to get into our next topic here, and that is Alfie is back in Ottawa. I know a lot of Ottawa fans were happy to see this today, as the president of hockey operations, Steve Staios, told reporters at the Friday skate that Alfredsson will be joining the team in a player development and coaching type of role. And Alfie comes out and says here, I got a taste of it last year a little bit, just helping out with injured guys, being around the team a little bit. I'll be around more this year, and I'm super excited, hoping I can help out and contribute to the team. And he also comes out and says, I lived their life. I'm not going to get the adrenaline I did as a player, but this is the next big thing. Sharing my experiences with them on the ice and off the ice, I think that's where I can contribute the most and is the most fun for me as well. And he also goes on to talk about Brady Tkachuk here. He says, I wish I had some of his traits back in the day. Talking about Brady Tkachuk, he says, I think he's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve, plays that way, and leads by example, which is great to see. And Mark, obviously, I know this is a lot to digest right now. I know me and you are really excited that Alfie is back. I love seeing Alfie on Ottawa during those years when me and you were just young bucks watching hockey. I know those Ottawa-Toronto battles with Alfredsson were fun to watch, your Ottawa-Montreal battles as well in the playoffs. I'm just excited that the Hall of Famer Daniel Alfredsson is back in the hockey world.
Yeah, it's massive when you look at it for the Sens. They get this Hall of Famer, they get one of their best players of all time, a guy that meant so much to this franchise, wanting to get back. He's in a role now where it's somewhere in between a development and coaching. I don't think they've really determined exactly what it is yet, but just having a guy like this on the ice, around the players, helping mentor guys, getting players better at different situations. It's just massive for a team like this where you have him there, you can learn from him, and he's a guy that you could ask so many questions to where he knows what it's like to win. He knows what it's like to lead this team. And overall, I think this is going to benefit the Sens players, management, the fans. I think this almost unites everyone because everyone loves this guy. Even as a Leafs fan, Alfredsson's one of the best from what I can remember when I was growing up. He's a guy that everyone looks up to. And honestly, it's exciting to see him get into the Sens team, a team that's making that next push for the contention of the Stanley Cup or just getting into the wild card or playoffs. And I think he's going to be a massive piece for this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Obviously, Alfredsson, one of my favorite players to watch growing up. Such a great player out there, a great leader as well, was the captain for many years. I think this guy could contribute a lot to this organization. And where Ottawa's kind of on the rise right now, kind of adding that Hall of Famer back there, getting the guys in the right mindset, I think is really going to help a lot. And like when he says here about Brady Tkachuk, like he gives him such high praise here. And I really think if you're Brady Tkachuk right now, you're feeling pretty amped up.
Yeah, that's the big thing. You have a guy like this, maybe a guy Brady watched growing up, a guy he looks up to, and just seeing him back in the organization, just talking you up, just getting to know you and just being around the ice to help Brady develop his game. We know Brady's an incredible player. He has a couple of rough edges, and by rough, I mean he looks incredible all around, but he's a guy that you could maybe see get his passing up a little bit, goal scoring up a little bit. He's the type of guy you would expect he might hit 100 points this year or just exceed that. So a guy like Alfredsson can help him get to this level and just help him achieve, be the best player possible and the best captain possible.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. I'm really excited for this Ottawa Senators team this year. Obviously, I know some of the viewers might know my grandfather is a big Ottawa Senators fan, so I know he's really excited to have Alfredsson back there right now. This Ottawa team looks great this year. Going to be competing for that playoff spot in the Atlantic. I think it's going to be fun hockey to watch, and I'm definitely going to be tuning into a lot of Ottawa games this year. But we're going to get into the next topic of the video here, and that is Fantilli gets his birthday gift. And if you didn't know, Adam Fantilli's birthday was yesterday on his NHL debut, and last night he got his first point in the NHL. He said the first lap was pretty cool. Right when the puck dropped, I settled in and was able to relax there and just play hockey. I was happy to be able to do that. A lot of external stuff going on, but I was able to just I was just happy to play hockey and get the first one in the books. And Mark, it just seems to me like Adam Fantilli is just a class act guy. For such a young player coming into this league, he seems like he's really good. He's adjusted to all the media hype around him and stuff as well. But last night he looked fantastic. Obviously, this guy skates with a lot of speed. He has quick hands and he has a great shot as well. I think last night he looked fantastic. Obviously, the assist wasn't as beautiful or anything like you would expect. It was just a shot on net to kind of rebound it out, and he kind of and the other player just kind of buried it there. But I'm really hyped on Fantilli, and I think he has a great season ahead. Him and Bedard are really going to be fighting with each other for that Calder this year.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I think this is going to be the Bedard and Fantelli show. I think we're going to see both names pop up a lot. I think Columbus has an absolute all-star in a guy like this. He's a guy that looks like a future number one center, a guy that can just power play quarterback and overall just be your best player on a team. So I think he's an amazing player. We've seen him kind of get his jitters out. He got his first game in. You're going to see a guy like this kind of game after game, he's going to slowly improve. The jitters are going to be gone. He's going to get used to the physicality and the speed and the pace of everything. And I think he's a guy that's just going to have a great rookie season. I have him probably number two on the Calder, but he might beat Bedard out for number one. Those are my top two guys. And I think Columbus should just be jumping for joy to have a guy like this on the roster.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. I could even see him maybe overtake Bedard for the Calder. I know that might be a hot take, but he does have a better team around him. He kind of has guys like Patrick Laine, Johnny Gaudreau, just to name a couple. I think this Columbus team is going to be great to watch all year, especially with this rookie on your team. You're excited to watch because they have a great roster, but then you also got a number one or number two rookie coming out of this draft class on your team as well. It's going to be fun to watch, and I don't know if you guys seen it or if you've seen it, Mark, but yesterday the NHL put out a great video about Fantilli and his whole story to get to the NHL, and it was followed by some kind words from his family family. I know his parents were there, his grandparents, and a couple of his teammates growing up. It was just a great video to watch. If you haven't, go check it out on the NHL Twitter right now. Might get you choked up a little bit, because it did definitely got me choked up a little bit just seeing what this guy has gone through to get there, and having his parents and grandparents in the arena last night on his birthday to get his first point in the NHL. It's just going to be a great experience that he'll never forget.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's that first game's the biggest for anyone in their career. Obviously, winning the Stanley Cup's a big game, but having the game on his birthday, his family's there, his grandparents, everyone's there to watch him. That just must have been a surreal moment for a guy like that.
Yeah, definitely. We're excited. We're kind of hopping on the Fantilli train here. I really hope this guy has a great year. Looking forward to his play all year long. But we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here, and that's obviously comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Wavy Gravy, one of the best names I've seen down the comment section below. He says, love hearing the Irish accent talk about hockey. I'm sure that's not an original comment. That's not really an original comment. A lot of people have been asking where me and Mark's accents are from, but like we said before, we're both from Newfoundland. Newfoundlanders kind of have a little bit of that thick Irish accent, and I know a lot of people have been enjoying it, so it's kind of not going to go away. It's just with us for now on, but we're glad you guys are enjoying it. We thank you guys for your support. If you like this video, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're trying to hit that 2,000 subscribers, so we'd really appreciate it if you went down, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy the NHL, make sure to check out this video popping up on your screen right now. But I've been KC, alongside my co-host Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.